So here's our attached stocking. The foot and the leg portion are attached, and I've got some OESD fusion fleece here. You can use any fusible fleece product that you like to use. I like to use this because it's on a roll and it fits nicely. So I'm going to just put my stocking on there and cut a section that will fit. And now I'm going to take this over to the ironing station, and I'm going to press the stocking onto the fusible fleece, and then I'm going to trim. I'm just going to cut all the way around the stocking so that I've got just the stocking. I've got all cut away all this excess. So I will and you're going to do this for both the front and the back of your stocking. I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll meet you back to show you the next step. So here we have both the front and the back have the fusible fleece fused to the backing, to the back side. And the next step is to attach the front to the back. I'm going to put them right sides together, and they may not be perfectly matched. That's all right. What I'm going to do here is take and put clips to hold them together. And then I'm going to take them over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to run a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around the perimeter. I'm going to leave the top open. So I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and sew this, and then we'll be back. Here we have the stocking. I have sewn the two sides together on my sewing machine with roughly a 1/4 inch seam. I may trim up this a little bit if your front and back are not perfectly symmetrical. That's all right. We lost a little the footage, so I'm sorry that but we'll turn this out here. So I have my stocking. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. We've got it all attached, the front and the back. The one tip I'd give is to try to match up your decorative stitching. I did a pretty good job on the front, and the back there's a little bit of it's a little off, but I'm not too gonna worry about that. I did press the seam open on the leg portion of the stocking here, and that's in the instructions. The next step is to attach the ruffle. So I'm going to pin that here at the top, and I'm also going to trim down and pin the ribbon that I'm using as my little hook holder, and then we'll get that on as well. So let me get that all together, and then we'll come back and attach it. I have attached my ruffle to the top of the stocking, and I've also got the ribbon on. So now I'm going to start working on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up going, it's going to be a little wonky, but I'm going to try to get this as easily as possible to go around. when I open up get my clips out, I'm just gonna put them here on the offcut table or offcut tray. I'm just skimming the sides. Again, this is more of a basting than, we've got one more step. And if you run into an issue where the stocking doesn't want to advance because of some of because you've got a lot of layers with this gathering, then you might have to give it a little tug on the far side. I'm just managing it. You could do this step on your sewing machine if it's more comfortable for you.
Just keep going around.
Make sure everything stays lined up on the top. That's it. And when you start to get close to that tail, you'll know that you're just about done.
Okay, good.
And I'm just going to sew off. Cut my thread. And now our ruffle has been attached. For the lining, I have departed a little bit from the instructions. The circumference of the top of my stocking, so I measured around the circumference. That was a little larger than the pattern piece, and I'm not quite sure what I did for that. So I have cut a piece of fabric the same length as that circumference, and I added an additional 1/2 inch for seam allowance. So I'm going to serge one of the long edges to encase to finish that edge, and then after I do that, I'm going to create a cylinder by sewing the two edges, the two short edges. So let me do that quick. And this is, we are now at step 53 in the instructions. And again, I just have the fabric lined up. I'm just taking off the whiskers. And I'm set up for a 4-thread overlock. You could do this with a 3-thread overlock. That's what the instructions will tell you. And now, like I say, I'm just folding this in half, and I'm going to attach it on the short ends to make a cylinder. All right. Yeah. And there we've got a cylinder. I have attached, or I've clipped the lining piece with right sides together to the stocking. I've got the stocking ready to go here. And again, we're just going to do a 4-thread overlock all the way around to attach this lining to the stocking. And I have made one modification to my stitch. I have increased the stitch length a little bit, and I did also dial my micro thread control over here on the right hand side, that little dial. I've got that up to +1. That's going to move the stitch finger just a little bit to the right to give us a little bit larger loop on the right side, so that we can accommodate all this bulk. And again, I'm got the knife up, and I've got the fabric just up against the right up against the knife. And I'm just trimming off an ever so slight amount of fabric. Make sure you keep this piece away from the stitcher or the shaft as it's going up and down. We'll have to just keep rotating it around. And make sure that that the fabric isn't bunching up. Essentially going right over the stitching that you did to attach the ruffle to the stocking. Okay, I didn't catch it all. That last little bit. Good. And then the last step is to turn that cuff inside out, or I should say, turn it inside of the stocking. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the sewing machine, and we're going to top stitch right along that, where that cuff goes in to finish it off. I have rolled down the lining, so that's now going to create this binding, and I'm just going to stitch in the ditch right along the line between the green, the lining fabric and the ruffle fabric, all the way around. I've clipped it all the way through. I have changed to a coordinating thread, for the for the stitching here. Just hit go. Right there in the ditch. And this will hold down the lining, and finish off your project. I'm going to continue doing this, and then I'll show you the finished product. And here's the finished stocking. The lining is sewn down to form the binding for the top. We've got the little loop, and the stocking, it's turned out really nicely. This is going to be very festive. I hope that you can make one, and I look forward to seeing all of your posts on our Facebook group. Thanks so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.